At least 9 people were killed, including a family of 4, on Tuesday in Russian attacks on Ukraine.
An aide who worked for a prominent member of Germany's far-right AfD party has been convicted of spying for China.
U.S. President Donald Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu agreed on a peace plan proposed by Trump to end Israel's war in Gaza.
Regional authorities in Ukraine reported on Tuesday that at least 9 civilians were killed and 15 others injured in Russian strikes in the last 24 hours. In Sumy, a couple and their 2 children were reportedly killed in a Russian drone strike on Tuesday. The drone hit a residential building in the village of Chechnya in what the region's governor called a targeted strike.
Не дуже крепко спав, летить і на сниження пікірує. Одіяло натягнув на себе, взрив, стекло посипалося.
According to media reports, a 60-year-old was also killed elsewhere in Sumy, and 3 others were killed in Donetsk. Ukraine's Air Force said 46 out of 65 drones launched from Russia overnight were intercepted by its air defenses. Daily Russian strikes in Ukraine continue as US-led efforts to end the war have made no progress.
This is an example of the Finnish comprehensive security model. It's one of 50,000 underground bedrock shelters all across Finland. This one here in the centre of Helsinki is 20 metres underground. It has strong bomb blast protection and at its peak can hold 6,000 people, but it means that each person would have less than 1 metre squared each in a time of war. Now the idea is that this would only be triggered, people would only come to these shelters if there is war, if there is bombs raining from the sky, as one government official said to me. They've never been used, but the feeling is that Finland has always had to protect itself from its neighbours, in particular Russia, because Finland has the largest border with Russia within NATO territory, over 1,300 kilometres. So they hope that they'll never have to use them, but they are here for each citizen and then some.
Denmark has banned all civilian drone flights after drones were again observed at several military facilities over the weekend. The Danish Transportation Ministry said the ban is aimed at removing the risk that enemy drones are confused with legal ones and vice versa. On Sunday, Denmark's Defense Ministry reported new drone sightings, a day after it had several capacities deployed following separate sightings on Saturday. Danish Transportation Minister Thomas Danielsen said that security will be a main focus during the upcoming European summit in Copenhagen. Tensions have been running high in Denmark following multiple reports of drone sightings last week that temporarily forced Danish airports to shut down. While it's not clear who was behind the drone activity, Denmark's Prime Minister and NATO Secretary General said last week that Russian involvement couldn't be ruled out. The Council of Europe is ready to create a special tribunal for Ukraine, but member states need to make the final move to make it a reality, the body's Secretary General told Euronews on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly.
We are ready. We are ready to have also an advanced team to make it real. What we need now is really a clear support and commitment from states, really not only encouraging but also supporting this development as soon as possible.
The Special Tribunal for Ukraine is a new international judicial body established by treaty between Ukraine and the COE, intended to prosecute the crime of aggression committed against Ukraine. Its main purpose is to fill a legal gap. The International Criminal Court has jurisdiction over war crimes, but currently cannot prosecute the crime of aggression in the case of Russian aggression against Ukraine.
It's clear that courts are challenged, and that's not always a good situation, because, we need to have some order. And order is to have political discussions, what we want to achieve, and then to respect what the courts are doing and to respect the independence of the judiciary. That's really important, not to destabilize those systems.
The COE is an international organization based in Strasbourg. Established after the Second World War to promote democracy, human rights, and the rule of law across Europe. It is not part of the European Union and is composed of 46 member states. Through its European Court of Human Rights, individuals can bring cases where they consider they have suffered a breach of their rights. An aide who worked for a prominent member of Germany's far-right AfD party has been convicted of spying for China. Jian Guo worked in the parliamentary office of Maximilian Krah, a member of the European Parliament between 2019 and this year. Krah is currently an MP in Germany's parliament. Guo has been charged with repeatedly providing Chinese intelligence with information on negotiations and decisions in the European Parliament between 2019 and 2024. He also snooped on Chinese dissidents in Germany and gathered information on AfD lawmakers. Krah was a witness in Guo's trial and said he did not have any knowledge of his former aide's activities. Earlier this month, Germany's parliament lifted Krah's immunity in connection with allegations that he also has had ties to China and was involved in corruption and spying scandals. Krah denies wrongdoing and says the allegations are politically motivated.
After a meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump at the White House, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said he agreed on a peace plan proposed by Trump to end Israel's war in Gaza. Qatar and Egypt presented the proposal to Hamas negotiators, who are reportedly reviewing the plan but have not yet commented on it. Speaking at a joint press conference at the White House, Trump also said the U.S. would back Israel if Hamas were to reject the plan.
I hope that we're going to have a deal for peace, and if Hamas rejects the deal, which is always possible, they're the only one left. Everyone else has accepted it, but I have a feeling that we're going to have a positive answer. But if not, as you know, Bibi, you'd have our full backing to do what you would have to do.
Also speaking at the press conference, Netanyahu issued an official apology to Qatar for killing one of its citizens during an airstrike on Doha, which targeted a Hamas delegation. It was the first attack by Israel on Qatar, who has been a key mediator in ceasefire efforts.
The European Union has welcomed the 20-point plan laid out by U.S. President Donald Trump to end Israel's war on Gaza and urged Hamas to accept it without delay. EU leaders, including Foreign Chief Kaja Kallas, Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, and Council President Antonio Costa, have expressed commitment to the plan's successful implementation. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz said it's the best chance to end the war.
Gelingt eine Einigung, dann steht Deutschland bereit, sich bei der Umsetzung des Planes einzubringen. Das gilt politisch, das gilt humanitär und das gilt selbstverständlich auch beim Wiederaufbau der Region. Wir betrachten das als Arbeit für einen Nahen Osten, in dem eines Tages Israelis und Palästinenser friedlich und sicher in 2 Staaten leben können.
The proposal includes, among other aspects, an end to military operations, the liberation of Israeli hostages, the release of hundreds of Palestinian prisoners, disarmament of Hamas, and the unimpeded delivery of humanitarian aid.
Todo aquello que sirva para evitar el desplazamiento forzoso de población, para terminar con la hambruna inducida inaceptable, para conseguir la liberación de todos los rehenes y para terminar con esta masacre de inocentes, demasiados muertos ya inocentes.
Recent days have seen several EU countries recognize the state of Palestine, and Trump said conditions could be in place for a pathway to self-determination. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, however, said he would forcibly resist the prospect of Palestinian statehood, casting doubt on whether the 20 points can be realized in full. From demonstrations to boycott calls, the Irish are among Europe's most fervent supporters of the Palestinians. According to a survey published in 2024, 71% of those polled believe that Palestinians live in an apartheid system set up by Israel. Irish support for the Palestinian cause is rooted in their own experience of British occupation.
British colonisation next door gives us this kind of almost natural empathy towards other colonized peoples. I mean, we have our own experience and our own history of enforced starvation through Angkor, the Great Hunger. We have our own experience of mass displacement, forcible violent displacement on many occasions. And then we also have experience of other forms of colonial violence.
British police officers known as the Black and Tans committed abuses against civilians both in Ireland and later in British Mandate Palestine. Dublin has also experienced the peace process of the Northern Irish conflict, which pitted the Republicans, supporters of Irish reunification, against the Unionists loyal to the British Crown. It ended in 1998 with the Good Friday Agreement.
L'Irlande propose ses services pour essayer de transposer ou de partager son expérience du processus de paix dans d'autres territoires et en particulier ici par rapport au conflit au Moyen-Orient.
Ireland officially recognized the state of Palestine on the 28th of May 2024, but the support is not new. As far back as 1958, Ireland defended the right of return and compensation for Palestinian refugees before the UN. In 1974, Ireland was one of the first European countries to recognize the Palestine Liberation Organization as the representative of the Palestinians. Ireland's independence movement, Sinn Féin, and its armed wing, the IRA, have had close ties with the PLO. In Northern Ireland, the sentiment is more divided, with the Protestant Unionists showing solidarity with Israel, while the pre-reunification Catholic Republicans support the Palestinians.